Simon here, Lorra.
Hello.
I think we've got to mention the elephant in the sexy room.
We are in a sexy room, aren't we?
Sexy studio surroundings. It's not the home studio that we normally record in.
You're very excited, aren't you?
I am excited. There'll be some famous bums in this chair.
Yes.
And what's lovely is we've got sexy producer Ed through the glass, who's come in today, by the way, in shorts.
He's already doing the cycling.
Right. He's making me feel guilty for not cycling today.
Good.
I found out you're not interested in this because I asked you about it earlier. We're in false spring. Do you remember in Dubai how we used to have false winter?
Yeah.
So to get to around, September time, October, there'd be a slight dip in temperature for a couple of days and everyone would be like, winter's here.
Yep.
And then it'd go boiling again and humid again.
Yeah, December rugby sevens, boiling.
So apparently we're in false spring at the minute, according to Instagram.
Well, it must be true then.
The final London winter is going to come before we get into spring proper.
I can believe that. There's been a few days where I've opened the doors and I'm like, oh, the sun's shining.
Yeah.
Next day, miserable.
Pissing it down.
Yeah.
Right, I had this idea as we were on the tube this morning to start these couple of podcasts with a hypothetical question.
I'm scared.
I was giggling as we walked across here.
I know.
I was giggling like a child because I thought this is a great way to start.
Go on.
Right? Are we allowed to talk about sex anymore? You banned me in the last episode from talking about it.
I just don't know. I don't know if people get bored of hearing about our sex lives. I'm pretty sure they do.
Why would they? Here's your hypothetical. I mean, it's not a sex question as such.
Okay.
It's a hypothetical question. It's probably a situation you'll never find yourself in.
Am I allowed to say no comment?
No, you got to answer.
Oh, okay.
Here's your hypothetical question, right? You've been in an accident.
Yeah.
I don't know, a fire or a car crash.
Yeah.
It's disfigured the bottom half of your face.
Okay.
And the doctors said to you, they can fix it. But the only skin they can use is my ball skin. He's shaking his head through there.
What on earth?
I've just realised that Ed's never seen me unprofessional. He's seen me come in.
So you're basically saying that's my only option is to have your balls on my face.
Not for the first time. So
yes,
I've died.
Yeah.
It's very sad, I know.
Oh, so you're dead. You're dead.
Yeah, in the car crash or fire.
Ah, okay.
Every bit of me's gone, apart from my balls, which, let's face it, you could stretch out across a tennis court.
And I've survived, and I've got the option of having your balls on my face.
It's going to be like pink and scarry, and like Willem Dafoe in Poor Things.
Yeah.
Or you can have like a nutsack beard. There's no hair on them.
But my face would be even wrinklier.
Yeah.
Well,
after that, if you want to do Botox...
If it's a choice of your ball skin or no skin, I'm going to go for the ball skin, surely.
But it's going to look like balls. So it's going to look like that brain sort of look.
Yeah. Maybe then I'd try and get Botox or something, I don't know.
So you're saying...
Of course!
You would have my testicle skin on your chin?
Yes.
What do you think of that as a new start to the podcast, the hypothetical question?
It's all right. It's all right.
That is breaking you in.
I don't know how your brain works.
It's breaking you in gently for the next episode.
Yes, I'm sure.
So what have we got coming up on the show today? What are the headlines?
We have me having a restaurant complaint on Mother's Day. We have you talking about table manners.
Yes.
And I've got ways to make money.
Because we need to do that.
Yep.
So Mother's Day complaint. This almost fits into the ick.
We went down to see Honey for Mother's Day and... we were running late because it was really bad weather and I think there was an accident. So the traffic was really bad because you and I hate being late.
So this is going from London to Southend, where she's at uni.
You and I hate being late.
Yeah.
So my plan was go and get Honey, go to the restaurant. Anyway, we're not even at Honey's by the time we should be at the restaurant. We call them and we say, look, we're going to be 15 minutes late.
You're saying restaurant. Let's be honest here. It was a Toby Carvery.
A Toby Carvery, which we've recently discovered. It's not something we'd ever done before.
They don't have them in Dubai?
No.
Whenever you said Toby Carvery or Harvester, people are like, is it the early 90s? Because I think it'd been around a long time. It's not something I had ever done in my life before coming back to England. You know, and yes, it's not the highest of quality, but it's cheap.
You've mentioned the poshest Toby Carvery in the world.
Well, that's where we go in North London.
It's near us. It's in like this big mansion house,
where Guy Fawkes apparently met Robert Catesby.
Yeah.
Over a Toby, discussing the gunpowder plot.
So we thought we'd try this one and, have lunch with Honey, have a roast dinner. It was a Sunday. So we call them, we say 15 minutes late. And then she says, oh, yeah, but that's going to be cutting into your time. You're like, yeah, okay, fine. Anyway, we get there. She says to me, oh, because you're parking the car, you're the ones that phoned up just to let you know you've got under an hour to eat. And I said, what do you mean we've got under an hour to eat? Well, for 4 people, you only get an hour. I said, what do you mean for 4 people, you only get an hour?
Yeah.
And she said, well, it's our policy. And I said, but did you tell us that's your policy? Did you say to us at the time of booking, but you only get an hour to eat, which that's not enough time, especially if you're going for a nice Mother's Day meal, by the way.
Yeah.
You're going, you're not just going to eat and run. You're going to have a few drinks and
But understandably, it's Sunday and the place is packed.
Yeah. Now, normally you hear of places saying there's a 2-hour rule, which is fine, but you normally get told that. That was my issue, was that either on the website or at time of booking, you get an email back, or they tell you on the phone or whatever. They say to you, you only get a 2-hour turnaround. Fine. But I said to her, well, where does it say that? Does it say it on the website? No. I said, did you tell us at the booking? No, it's just our policy. I said, so how am I meant to know that I get an hour to eat? And I said, because we're 4 people, by the way, we get less time.
So at this point, I'm still out in the car park.
Yeah.
It's raining. We're on this grim Southend seaside. Everything's grey. Everybody going in's grey. Everything's grey. And I'm thinking, but it's Mother's Day. We've not seen Honey for a while.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be chipper. So I try and come in a good mood. I'm normally the miserable one. I walk in and you're doing that. And you make me cringe so bad when you do this. The waitress is walking us to whatever she's called. I don't want to call her a maitre d' because it's Toby Carvery. The woman, she's got a face like thunder. You've got a face like thunder. We're walking to the table and you're loud explaining to me in earshot of her, well, she said we've only got 45 minutes. And I'm dying inside. I'm wilting. I'm like, Lord,
look, I don't like complaining. I'm not a complainer. Normally we're those people, if we've hated the food we're eating and someone comes over and says, are you enjoying your meal? Yeah, lovely. We're normally like that.
If there's a pube on a fork, I'll eat it. Because I don't like complaining.
You must see my point.
I see your point, but it's killing me inside. And it's tainting the time we have got.
I know.
But to explain, as vegetarians, and as soon as you said that, people hate you.
Yeah.
As vegetarians, you have to order. You don't get the meat.
Yes.
Right? It takes them 10 minutes to bring that down.
Yeah.
We're already late sitting down, so we've probably got 40 minutes, 10 minutes for that to come out. Then it's packed. There's a huge queue.
It's a bit annoying, because then you're clock watching.
But we made it. It was all right.
It was okay.
I'll tell you what was in there. A lot of sons my age with the older mum, very little conversation.
Oh.
They've been dragged out. They're trying to make it special. They've took the mum to Toby Carvery. Something else I noticed, when we were in the queue, a lot of people in tracksuits, in the 20s, your early 20s, men and women on dates. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, look, we're here because we've been married donkey's years. We don't care. We just want a cheap feed. You're out with your girlfriends. What the fuck are you doing taking them to a Toby Carvery?
It's not the best place to take someone on a date.
And but the other thing I noticed in that queue is everybody was getting XL.
Oh, so big plate. I didn't know that was a thing, by the way.
No denying, I'm a bigger gentleman, right? I have never had the big plate. I always have the standard plate, and I have never finished a meal in Toby Carvery.
Well, you can go back up for seconds for most of it anyway. So
incredible. So who's ordering?
So the XL is for the meat. So I don't know how much meat you're eating.
Well, let's move on because we're talking about food. Table manners. Reading a story this morning. Apparently, table manners are dying out.
Yeah.
I can well believe this. I'm going to talk about Gen Zers. You know what a Gen Zer is?
No.
14 to 30-year-olds.
14, is it?
And according to them, table manners don't matter anymore. Chewing loudly, eating off each other's plates, using a mobile phone, now regular events at dinner.
Well, we've had disagreements in the past about mobile phones at the table. That really bugs me.
Yeah, some pet peeves here. Not waiting for all the food to arrive before you start eating.
I don't do that. I don't start eating.
I mean, if you're in Toby Carvery, you've got to fucking neck it while you can.
I don't mind other people doing it. But I think if you're the one that's got your food, or I think it's quite nice for other people to say, oh, please start, In
Dubai, when we were living with all the kids before the kids went to university, we would eat as a family at the table every day.
We try and make it a thing.
Yeah, and it was always a thing, and it was really nice. We had conversations. It really meant something to me.
Well, I remember reading once about places that you have conversations, because most of the time you don't actually sit and chat to each other when you live together. But in the car, and I agree with that, when you're driving the kids to school, that's when you had a chat time. And around the dinner table is another time that you end up chatting. And I do. I think it was a valuable time.
Do we sound like old farts here?
a little bit.
With everyone being so disconnected now with phones, I mean, this is the longest you and I have not looked at a phone for ages.
Yeah.
I think that time is important.
No, it is. And I've tried to start doing it again since we've moved back. I had these friends, there's two guys, and they were the loudest eaters. I'm sure I've mentioned one of them before.
What's it called? Is it called misophonia? I think it's something like that, where you can't stand to hear people chewing.
One of these guys, right, would make noises as he was eating. It's like, like he was enjoying his food that much.
I recognise that noise.
Shut up.
I'm only joking. Yours are way louder.
Yeah, shut up.
Sorry.
Right.
53% of Brits have been annoyed by their family's lack of table manners. We're all right. Last night, Betsy Pearl, 11 years old, had a phone on a stand watching, and you know kids have got an innate sense of watching the most screechy YouTube videos of all time.
Yeah.
We work in audio.
Yeah.
The sound just kills me. It kills me.
It's not what you want when you're eating your dinner.
40% of Gen Zers say they use the phones at dinner. I don't like it. I'll tell you what my gripe is here.
So, some places have the bowl, don't they, in the middle of in restaurants?
To put your phone in?
Yeah, good idea.
When we go out to a restaurant, which is not that often, everybody else in there is 20 years younger than us, and everyone's having the time of their life. It's social, clinking glasses, they're all having a great time. It's all like they've just come out of the office and they're great to be out. We're sitting there, not saying a word to each other, just staring dead eyes at each other.
Yeah, but we're not that couple. When you see couples that are both looking at the phones and not communicating.
It depresses me.
Oh, I hate seeing it.
But I think we look like that couple. But what people don't understand there is we're there to have a break.
Yeah, we're just chilling.
Yeah. Also, we spend all day together every day. So really, we've spent all day talking, doing bloody podcasts and everything else we do.
Yeah. So we're just there to people
It's
watch.
neither here nor there if you are there. Yeah, I'm happy to be there on my own. I'm just here for a feed and to be away from the kids for a bit.
Yeah.
Now, ways to make money.
Right. So this came about the other day. You found a thing in the news saying this woman was making money from selling bathwater.
It was on Louis Theroux's podcast. It's a woman I've never heard of. She got famous for putting photographs of herself on Instagram, then graduated to OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And then sold her bathwater.
Yeah.
Ed recorded the episode with the woman.
Brilliant.
This is not what we're drinking today, is it? Expensive lady bathwater. So she actually made a killing off it.
Yeah, so she made a lot of money, whether it was genuine her bathwater or not, I don't know. But since then I found one where a woman is selling her jar of farts. That's something I could do.
You could have a factory production line.
I could do well with this.
You're a very gassy woman.
I am,
as
yes.
As we've discussed before.
Yeah. She's selling those jars for £230.
For a jar of farts?
For a jar of farts.
Right, is there something else involved in this? It's like,
no.
Does she live stream herself farting into the jars? What is it?
Again, I think she started off doing something stupid on YouTube or something like that. She got the followers and now that's what she does. She sells her jars of farts.
Because we need to find a way of making extra money. We're living in London, we're broke.
So I then decided to dive further into this and look for...
Are you looking for things here that you could possibly do?
Not necessarily.
Because I'm not saying it's demeaning doing OnlyFans and things like that, but I wouldn't demean you by saying, come on, if you go on OnlyFans, I could pack in work.
I would sell my farts for 250 quid a jar.
Promo. Go on, what else have you got?
Right, so let me ask you, would you do these? Right, become a professional sleeper.
If they'd give me the drugs for sleeping, I've got terrible sleep problems, as you have.
Yeah.
How much would I get for professionally sleeping?
So you get £2,300 for that.
Per what? Per session?
Yes. So
yes,
they basically experiment on you and see, observe you sleeping.
When I was around 20 years old, I used to knock around with this girl.
Yeah.
And she was a bit of a hippy-dippy one. She did medical experiments at the college hospitals in Sheffield. One of them, they just shoved different shaped things up her arse.
Oh, wow.
Like all sorts of different shaped things. They said it was for medical reasons. I'm reckoning this was just like posh boys at university having a laugh, paying someone 30 quid and shoving the stuff was spinning round and all sorts up there. That's a true story.
Would you have done that one?
No.
No.
No, very sensitive
So you're saying yes to being a professional sleeper, no to having things up your bum?
Well, again, depends on the money.
Right. Now,
if I'm making 2,300 for going to sleep, we're staying away from the rectum.
Okay. Cuddling. That's become fashionable to become a professional cuddler.
Tell me more.
Just cuddling people.
I'm a cuddling strangers?
Yep.
How much am I getting?
£62 an hour.
Nope.
No? No, not enough.
Again, if that was in the thousands, I'd do it.
A professional pooper scooper.
Picking up dog book?
Starting roughly around £31.
For how much time?
Well, I'm guessing if you're going to somebody's house and cleaning their garden and maybe taking their dog for a walk.
Yeah.
You get 31 quid a session.
So you've got to think, how's it working out as a full-time job? I'd happily do that.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
I'm not a fan of picking up poo.
Oh, I'm not putting it out there, it's not up there with eating burgers.
Well, I'd rather cuddle. Than poo so far.
Shit.
What about being a professional queuer, waiting in line for somebody?
I'm British. I don't mind a queue.
Well, you did moan when we had to queue recently.
Yes, because that was a surprise queue. If you listen to the last episode, we went to the Guy Ritchie red carpet bloody premiere at the Netflix. But what Laura didn't tell me is we'd have to queue for 5 hours in the freezing cold. A surprise queue in near zero temperature weather.
I think you moan about any queues, you. If there's a queue and you're like, ooh.
I don't mind a queue as long as people in the queue maintain queue etiquette.
Yes, that's important.
Yeah?
Yeah. £62 you'll get for that.
An hour?
Yep.
Yes, I would do that.
Okay. I think this one's more for me. A professional organiser, like sorting people's paperwork out, clothes out. £80 an hour.
Yes.
Yeah?
That's way more than you're getting paid now. You should totally be doing that. Why aren't you applying?
Selling your hair.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, let's not get on to people thinking I'm bald. My hair grows really fast.
Yeah.
And then I lop it all off.
But I think it has to be a certain amount of inches, doesn't it, before you can sell it on...
There's you again going on about the certain amount of inches. Let it go. There's nothing I can do about it.
And listening to music and doing reviews.
Yeah.
You do that one?
How much?
I did it. I tested that one.
Okay.
I earned 0.047p for the review.
Of one song or an album?
One song. So I earned half a penny for doing a review. 72p per hour. That is, if I did
flat out.
Yeah, if I did one review every 5 minutes, I'm getting 72p an hour.
Yeah, that's not for me. It's not enough.
Yeah, it seems like it's a fun job, but
I like it because you can do it in-house. You can do it. I love a job that I can keep my pyjamas on and me Oprah Winfrey slippers.
Yeah.
But no.
But then you're earning like 15 quid a day for doing all day. It's not worth it.
It's not enough.
I'd rather have things shoved up my bottom. Which one of those would you do? Sleeping?
Would I get paid for shoving things up your bottom?
Oh.
If that were a two-man job, I'd be happy to do that. We're back onto OnlyFans. Right, let's move on. Let's finish today's episode with the ick.
Okay.
I've just thought of one.
Go on.
Because there's one that's just happened here, but it didn't happen. It didn't quite happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ed has sussed me out already here.
Yeah.
I've just gone into the bathroom before my trouble with needing regular wheeze.
I noticed that you and Ed both went to the bathroom at the same time.
Well, Ed had to get out of his shorts that he had on. Sexy legs.
Did you pass each other in the corridor?
I was coming out as he passed, and
Is that awkward? Is that awkward seeing someone as you're both going to?
Ed wasn't in work mode yet.
Okay.
So he didn't acknowledge me. Right?
Okay.
Which is fine. I understand not being in work mode.
Yeah.
But as I came out, right, one of my big icks is shaking someone's hand when they've still got damp on the hand from the bathroom. There can't be anybody on earth who likes that, because that damp is saying to you, this hand was recently either holding a penis, wiping a bottom, or wiping the front bottom. Wash my hands thoroughly.
Good.
But I'd have hated if Ed would have clocked me and gone, how are you, mate, like that?
Yeah.
Ed and I have already sussed out that we don't need to do handshakes when we meet, which I love.
Right, and you don't hug.
I'd like to get to that stage with him.
Yeah, nice.
Eventually. Will that do us for today?
Yep, sounds good.
Hit us up on the socials. All the links are in there. Facebook, TikTok, blah, blah, blah. And probably a link to YouTube. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.